Hello guys, welcome back to another video on my channel. Now today's a match preview, it's Brentford versus Luton. But before I get on with today's video guys, today's video is sponsored by OneFootball. OneFootball is a free football app which you guys can download on the Apple Store or on the Play Store. It's a free app and it's the best football app on the market, and it gives you everything you need to know about your club, about football news, about transfer news. It gives you everything. Make sure you download the app. But anyway, as we're playing Brentford tomorrow, I thought let's look at some of their stats for the season. So how do I check the stats for the upcoming games? Well, I go on my following, I go on my favourite club, and obviously it pops up with Brentford versus Luton. I reckon Brentford are going to win, so I'm going to click on the home button, and 78% of people think Brentford are going to win as expected. But if I click on the Brentford badge, and then go on to season, I can then see where they are in the league. So they are currently 4th in the Championship. What is their home form like this season? Well, they're currently got the 8th best home form in the Championship. But then if I go back out and then go down, it tells me their latest results. So they're unbeaten in their last 5, and they got a very good win at home to Bournemouth. And then if I go on their stats, 1.6 goals per game, 1.0 goals conceded, 55% possession per game, and then when I go on Seal, it gives me all the stats I need for this upcoming game against Brentford. So guys, if you want to download the OneFootball app, the link will be in the description below. But before I give you guys my thoughts on this game against Brentford, here is a Brentford fan called Billy with his thoughts on this game.
Luton coming down to Griffin Park for the first time since the 7-0 victory last season, and it's going to be a completely different game to that last one, because I think Luton came down there slightly rabbit in the headlights. Brentford were on fire, played a brilliant game of football that time, like I said, scored 7 goals, but it's not going to be anything like that this time. Luton have learnt a lot since that game. You've gone through a change of manager, you've managed survival in the Championship, and then you're back this season and you're causing all sorts of surprises. You've won quite a few matches that people might have said that you shouldn't have won, but at the end of the day, listen, if you play decent football, you're out there and you're out for a good battle, then of course you deserve the results. I mean, you beat Reading in the Cup a few days ago. I mean, I know you didn't beat them in the league, you beat them in the Cup. You also beat Bristol City as well, which is a great result, you know, beating Bristol City in the league as well. Like I said to you, you've got quite a few results, and you also drew with Bournemouth as well, who are out there. They've just come from the Premier League, so you're a team that no one wants to mess around with, and Brentford need to be on the money for this game. As you probably know, this is the first match back first league match back for 3. We've had 3 league matches cancelled due to COVID. We've had our ground which has been shut due to COVID, so we're only going to get a couple of days training in for that, and I get a little bit nervous when that happens, because obviously you don't know how we're going to come back. You guys I know you've had a couple of games that have been cancelled, but you've been on fire. Unfortunately, you didn't get the right result against QPR last week. We'd have rather if you got a better result against our West London rivals, but we can't do anything about that. But like I said, going into this game for Brentford, we've got a few little issues. Josh Silva, he got a red card in this League Cup semi-final against Tottenham, so he's going to be out. He's a great player, so we're going to miss him. And also Pontus Jansson, he's also out because he's got an ankle injury and he had an operation, so he's not going to be back till April. And Pontus in our defence is actually really, really important, so we'll see how the defensive centre-backs are going to pair up. Sometimes they're absolutely brilliant, and sometimes it can go a little bit awry, so let's see how that goes. But other than that, like I said to you, looks like, fingers crossed, we're going to have the usual first team. You've got Ivan Toney up front, who's been banging in the goals. You're going to have Jensen in the midfield. You're going to have Janelt, who's the defensive midfielder, who's come in and taken the place of Norgard, who has been injured. So let's see how it's going to pan out for that. Like I said to you, as for you've got some great players. You've got the Dewsbury Hall, who every time I've seen him, I think he's brilliant player. He does. I mean, I've looked at the way that he's playing, I'm thinking, Luton, man, this guy's on fire. I think it's going to come down to the midfield. Sometimes our midfield could be totally on fire, and sometimes it can be a little bit, I hate to say go missing, but it can go a little bit awry. So it's going to be a battle of the midfield to see what's going to happen, see how much you're going to press us, see how much you're going to try and force us into making mistakes, and see how it goes. I'm confident because I think, having a little bit of a break actually might do us good. Last season we had a 4-month break in the lockdown, and we came back and we were on fire. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed it's going to be very similar to that. So if you ask me to put a score forward, I think it's going to be tight, and I think it's going to be 1-0 to the Bees, and it's going to get us back on track, because like I said, we're a few games behind everybody else. We need to catch up on the Swanseas of the world. and the Bournemouths of the world and everyone else. Oh, I think Bournemouth behind us, not quite sure, and the Norwiches of the world. Good luck to you guys for the rest of the season. But obviously this game here, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we can get a result out of this one. And hopefully you can go in and take points off every single team at the top of that league after that. Good luck with the rest of the season. Cheers, you bees.
Thank you for Biddy for sending that clip. It was a long one, but I thought it's just best to have fans from other clubs giving their thoughts rather than me talk about their club. They know their club more than I do, so it's best to have these fans on the match previews so you guys understand everything about this upcoming game. Like I just said there, make sure you check out Biddy's podcast. The link will be in the description below. So what are my thoughts on this upcoming game against Brentford? Well, for me, so far this season, we've played every single team in the Championship now, and the hardest team we have played this season for me was Brentford. I thought Brentford outplayed us. They got their tactics spot on. They've got better players than us, and we just couldn't break them down. We couldn't play our game, and I think that was because of Brentford. I don't think we turned up and performed badly. I think Brentford made us play badly due to how good they were on the day. And looking at all the teams we've played, Brentford for me have been the best team by far. However, we're actually playing Brentford at a unique time. So Brentford haven't had a league game in a long time due to the fact that they've had a COVID outbreak amongst their squad. And that means they're not going to be as sharp as what we are. We've already had a game. We had a COVID outbreak ourselves, but we've played a game since then. We played 2 games since then. So really, we should be a lot sharper. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because when we played against QPR, I mentioned the fact that, we had the long break, so we should be a lot fitter than QPR. It turns out it's actually the opposite effect. It's if you have a long break and you come back, you're not as sharp as the teams which have, obviously continued to play. So really, we should use that to our advantage and hopefully be a lot sharper, a lot quicker than the Brentford players. But I still think Brentford, they would have planned, they would have done everything the best they could do for this home game against Luton, because they will probably look at it and think, Luton at home, we should be beating, because they want promotion. And I do think Brentford, at the end of the season, they will be in the playoffs. I think I predicted them to finish second in the league this year. They could still do that, and they've got a great squad there. Ivan Toney, goal scorer, he scored against us. We need to try and make sure that he doesn't have an opportunity in this game. They've got a few other dangerous attackers as well. The good news is for us that De Silva, who scored a hat-trick against us last season at Brentford when they beat us 7-0, he is suspended due to he sending off against Tottenham. So that's one good positive for us in this game. Will it be the same scoreline from last season? No, we are not losing 7-0 in this game against Brentford. I believe the team is completely different. The mentality is there for us not to ever lose a game like that again. And I do think we may have an advantage in this game. We're just beaten Bournemouth 1-0 away from home. We've got Chelsea after Brentford. So if the players want to start against Chelsea, they kind of need to put in a good performance against Brentford. It's a big game, we've got so many big games coming up, but it's what we want. We want to play these big games. We don't want to have an easy game. We want to play hard games. We want to improve ourselves at this level and climb up the table. And we could do that against Brentford if we get a good result. Now, I would 100% take a draw. There's no doubt about that, because Brentford are a very good team. And if you look at it, 4 points from Bournemouth and Brentford, both away from home, is a fantastic outcome. But if we can make that 6 points, that's a fantastic return. I think the one area which we should target with Brentford would be set pieces. I think that's an area which we should try and look to score from. I'm not too sure if we can break Brentford down. As we all know, this season going forward hasn't been the best, and we're not really the best team with unlocking defences. So maybe set pieces is the way we are going to try and score in this game. But I'm confident that we can get something. I'm not scared of Brentford, although they are a great side. I just think that we can get something from the game due to what I've already said. So what is my score prediction for this game against Brentford? I'm going with, I think Brentford are going to win 2-1. I really do. I do think Luton are going to put in a good performance. I'm thinking negative, because I think if I think negative and Luton proved me wrong, I'd be more happy. So I am going to go with a 2-1 Brentford win. We have to remember they are a very good side. And although I've said some positives and some things that are going in our favour in this video, I still think Brentford have enough quality in that squad to overcome those negatives and beat us at home. But I think it's going to be a good game, and if we could get a result against Brentford, that would be amazing. But we are relying on key players in our team to step up. So Dewsbury Hall, like he has been all season. Collins, we need him to kind of step up now and grab a few goals. Otherwise, we're going to need a new striker in the window. Moncur could feature in this game. We've already beaten Brentford over the last 24 months, so we know how to beat them. So hopefully we figure out a way to get a result away from home against them. But anyway, guys, that is the end of the video. Hopefully you did enjoy my thoughts about this game. Drop a like on today's video if you did. Comment below your score predictions and your predicted lineups. Download the OneFootball app. The link will be in the description below. If you guys want to become a member of my channel, click the link down below as well. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Don't forget to follow me across all my social media if you haven't done already. And I'll see you guys in the next video.